must be freedom of information, access to information, press freedom. But if you ask me, do we have press freedom in Nigeria? I would say no. There cannot be press freedom when journalists are not well paid. There can't be press freedom when there's no future in the profession. They'll be manipulated, they'll be bribed by those politicians, and they will make you to do what is against the ethic of your profession. So we can only guarantee or say there's press freedom when every journalist is proud of his profession because he can pay his bills and he can live a decent, average life. That is when Nigeria can say we have press freedom. But today, if you look at it, who are the owners of the media houses? Is it government? No, not all. We know there are some powerful people who own the media. Some of them will even dictate to you the story you should publish, or the picture, or the film, or the clip of whoever they want to see on their televisions or radio station. Now, that will bring us to the question of then how do we confront this problem? It's very simple. It is for the media practitioners to come together, team up, and fight this cause. The cause is, when I was then we made an attempt to present a bill on qualification of who should be a journalist in Nigeria. The fact that you're a graduate of linguistics, thank God for it, that doesn't make you a good journalist. You can have a PhD in political science, that will not make you a good journalist. English language is not journalism. English language is just the foundation of journalism. No matter how good you are in English, in linguistics, no matter your knowledge, it's like you have a solid foundation without a structure. The training you receive after your qualification in journalism is what provides the structure upon which the roof can stand. Today, I listen to radio, television, I read newspapers, and I see a mix-up of journalism, broadcast writing with print writing. Nobody talk about print writing anymore. There are things that you shouldn't write, put on pen as a journalist. The way we were trained. They said, look, these are broadcast writing. These are print writing. But today you see all those things mixed up, so I'll just be laughing. I'll just be laughing when I hear some news. Because I know these guys are not trained. If you're asked to interview somebody, there are languages that shouldn't come out of your mouth. If I want to ask you, sir, who is bankrolling your project? I will not say, sir, where are you getting the money? Who's bankrolling your project? I would rather say, sir, quite a number of people are passing a very tough time. I want to salute your courage to embark on this kind of a trip. Can we know how you are footing the bills? Any reasonable man knows that you are asking more than what you are asking. But if you confront her and say, tell us how you have gotten the money, the man too will reply you in the way you don't like. We are all human beings, so it has to do with training. There was an incident that happened. I called one of the big guys there. I said, dear guy, what was the training you gave him in journalism? Yoruba says, that an issue is your own issue doesn't mean you don't know the truth there. That I'm a journalist doesn't mean that I will not know when a journalist is going beyond his bound. No. I'm not saying people should have hot temper in responding to issues, but we are not the same. We are not made the same. We are not the same stuff. Our temperament is not the same. One umbrella. The more you are, the stronger you are. Because I've seen a lot of associations, some of them wanted to give me an award. I said, I don't take award. I don't take chief that's title. No, the only award I've received is the CON which the federal government gave to me. And I would finally tell you this, my colleagues, that when you are dealing with politicians, bear one thing in mind, that it's not all of them, all of the people who are politicians are people who aspire to be statesmen. You understand what I'm saying? Not all politicians aspire to be statesmen. I have decided I'm going to be a statesman in Nigeria by speaking the truth, by ensuring justice, fairness, and equity. When I was in the PDP, there were occasions I criticized the PDP government. There was some of my clips that I still see around. Those were clips, my presentation, when I was in PDP. But you know, at that time, nobody would dare come and tell me that, would I want APC to win the election? No, because at that time, I was a party man. What I was supposed to do is to rise above the sentiment of party and tell my party when they are going off track. When there's a project or a program that's anti-people, my journalistic background will not allow me to keep quiet. If I see discrimination in any, I won NUJ election twice in this country, unopposed my second term. I was voted by journalists across this country, Christian, Muslim journalists, Christian journalists, all of them voted. So nobody will come and preach sentiment to me. I will not answer you. Nobody will come and talk about tribalism. As a senator, I'm a Christian. I sponsored in the 6th and 7th Senate, I sponsored a total of over 400 Muslims to Mecca, paid their trip to Mecca. Some of us have gone beyond the level of sentiment. So any position I'm taking, I'm guided by my conscience as a journalist, that let me speak the truth. If there are situations tomorrow that demand me criticizing PDP, I will stand in the Senate and say, this is wrong. Because that's my background. When I was in PDP, at time when I sit down and look at some of their clips, some of my past clips, I say, somebody will try. There was a time we were telling them in PDP, oil is now $140 per barrel, $150 per barrel. We are not investing, no. I have the tapes. So when people talk about Buhari government, I say, Buhari, I pity him. Because it came when oil was selling at the time $20, $5. But some people, Nigerians have forgotten that there was a time oil was selling at $150 per barrel. What happened to the money? The roads were not done, were not constructed. Roads were not done. People were in hunger. Salary were not increased. But Nigerians are people who forget easily. When the money was there in this country, what happened to our money? Where are the investments? Oil was at $150 per barrel, $140 per barrel. Today, we say, oh, this government is not doing this. Where will they get the money from? Where will the money come from? Somebody has accused me. He said, that time we were talking about certain things in PDP. This one you came, you keep quiet. I said, because I know they don't have the money. You say, oh, what you say about the money that is not available, nobody can arrest no king that can powerfully ask you to bring the money you don't have. The money is not just there. Today, Nigeria is passing through a tough time. And I said we're all going to our knees to pray. Next year may even be tougher. Because if you look at the figures, you know that the economy is not really improving. And it's a global problem. But notwithstanding, there are issues that had nothing to do with the economy. When it comes to an issue that borders on the peace and stability, unity of our nation, and I see my party or my government is not following the right track, I, Smart Ademi, will rise and say, no, please, this should not happen.